Hello everybody, this is Jeff Janess. This is Lab Exercise 12 and our Data Types lecture. In this lab exercise we're going to learn how to edit metadata. If you remember, metadata can be really important stuff, telling the user how much they can rely on the data, what the data is really good for, what all the various aspects of the data might mean. Metadata can be a really critical part of data. And so it's important to know how to edit it and important to know just how to find it. So we'll look at both of those. And as part of this exercise, we're going to take an existing feature class, this LeBaron stands. You're going to copy it and you're going to edit the metadata and put your name into it, and then that's going to be part of your homework for this lab exercise. All right, so let's get started. First, we got to locate this shapefile. It's in our class data in the folder Data and LeBaron. Here's our class data right here. So we're going in LeBaron, and here is the LeBaron stands one that we're going to edit. So we're going to right click on it and copy it. It is now copied to memory. Next step is to find a place that we're going to put it. I don't really care where you put it, but you need to remember where you put it. For this exercise, I'm going to create a brand new empty folder. Just right click in an empty spot, go to New Folder, and I'm just going to call this for homework. I'm going to put it in there. Open that folder up, right click and paste. Okay, now we have our copy of the LeBaron stands feature class. Next step is we're going to change the name of it. You can change it by clicking on it, then clicking on it one more time. It becomes editable here. I'm just going to change it to, I'll call it John Doe. All right, that's all it takes to change the name. Now we want to edit the metadata. So we right click on it again. There's Edit Metadata here. Hit that function. And here we have the metadata editor all ready to go. Now you might notice that it comes with these kind of alarming little tags. You see all these exclamation marks and little red signs and X's all over the place. Makes it look like the data is damaged somehow. Don't worry about these. These are just warnings to you that the metadata is not meeting some particular metadata standard. There's times you want to meet a metadata standard, and these things are just help to you to make sure that you get everything you need. The data is going to work just fine if we don't meet that standard. All right, so the things that we're going to edit, first we're going to change the name of it, and then we're going to add a little summary to it. Now you might notice that the title is still what the original data set was, even though we changed the name of the data set itself. So we are going to have to change that title to match the new data set name. And then we're going to edit the summary, and we're going to put in this text, Lab Exercise 12, and your name. So, all right, so we've made these two changes to the metadata. Now we have to save the metadata. That's up here in this metadata tab in the Save button. We hit Save, and it has been saved. So now we can just close this. The metadata has been changed. We're going to put it into a new map. So I'm going to right click on it, add to new map. Pops it right in there. This is our copy. Okay, so now we've added it to our map. Now we just want to take a look at the metadata and confirm that it was edited successfully. We can right click on the layer in the contents pane here, pop down to View Metadata. And here we go. Here's our feature class. The title has been changed correctly, and sure enough, the summary has been edited to put our name in it. So we were successful in editing this metadata. You know, there's one more thing to know about metadata, and this is a good opportunity to show it. ArcGIS can show you metadata in multiple formats. Different industries have different formats that they prefer, and ArcGIS has 6 or 7 that you can choose from. The first time you open ArcGIS Pro, it defaults to a particular metadata style called item description. And you can tell if this is happening to you if it says this at the bottom of your metadata description. It's interesting because it defaults to this, and yet of all the metadata styles, this is the worst. This is the one that is least useful to us. It hardly shows us anything. And usually we want to know other things about the metadata. We want to know what attribute fields mean. We want to know spatial reference and all this sort of thing. This item description is pretty much the only one that is useless. So we got to fix that. We go to the Project tab, come down to your options. These are all your ArcGIS Pro options. We come down to the metadata section. And we're going to change the metadata style to anything but item description. And this is a good one, the FGDC. Hit OK. Come back to, now we're looking at the same metadata. And look, we have much more metadata available to look at. This is the full set of metadata. And so make sure you change that option. Now, for your homework, you're going to want to zip this new feature class that you made into a single zip file and submit it. So I'm going to talk about how to do that in the next lab exercise, but why not? Let's just do a quick demo of it right here. Now, the only real trick to zipping up a data set is that you can't do it in ArcGIS Pro. ArcGIS Pro doesn't have any function for compressing datasets into a single zip file, so we got to go to Windows File Explorer for this. So let's pop open Windows File Explorer. Remember that I put our new shapefile into this folder called For Homework. Here it is. All of these files make up the shapefile. Notice that there's 2 files called lock files. These are actually not part of the shapefile. They're just little flags that Esri software puts up to tell other Esri software that this file is open, and it prevents anybody else from editing it. Now, if we want to zip this shapefile, we have to select all the files, but we don't include the lock files. Never include those. If you share this with a colleague and you send them lock files, then when they open it up, their ArcGIS looks at it and they think it can't be edited. They think it's open somewhere else. So these should not be added to any zip file. So you select everything but those 2 files. You right-click on it. Now, if you happen to have 7-zip installed, which would be the case if you have installed it personally on your own system or if you're using the NAU computers, you can just come down to 7-zip and come to, say, Add For Homework Zip, or you can do Add to Archive. I'm going to do Add to Archive. I'm going to change the name of it to LeBaron Stands. And make it a zip file, and there it goes. That's all it took. Now, if you don't have 7-zip installed, what you do is you select the same files, not these 2. Now, Windows has its own zip function. It doesn't work quite as well as 7-zip, but it's already there. You don't have to install anything. Just right-click on the files, go to Send to and Compressed Zipped Folder. Hit OK, and it has made a zip file here. Either one of these will be just fine. You can submit it for your homework.